Live, local, late breaking. This is WMBF News at 11.
Well, thanks so much for joining us at 11. I'm Ian Klein in for Eric Weisfeld this evening. It's starting to feel a lot like fall out there tonight. Perfect for Friday night football. Meteorologist Jessica Dobson has a look at your cool night ahead in her certified most accurate forecast. Jess?
Yeah, you said it, Ian. It's definitely a cool and crisp fall-like evening across the area, and we're already seeing temperatures dipping down into the 60s, even the 50s across the area. But as we continue to head towards the rest of tonight, we'll see overnight lows dip down into the middle 50s across the Grand Strand, but overall staying cool, calm, and dry as we head towards the rest of tonight, and that's going to set us up for a cool and beautiful Saturday as we head towards tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine, pleasant temperatures taking shape across Florence and the PD. We could actually see a couple of areas see temperatures dipping down into the upper 40s. So overall, it's going to be a clear night, perfect for viewing that very bright and beautiful moon out there as well. But across Florence and the PD, we'll expect highs to reach the low 70s. I'll talk more on how long this fall-like trend is expected to last coming up in my certified most accurate forecast.
Right now at 11, police continue to search for the person who hacked into a virtual classroom in Horry County. It happened this morning when students at Carolina Forest were meeting in a Google Meet room. WMBF News reporter Jennifer Roberts joins us live in studio. Jennifer, you talked with parents with students who are attending Carolina Forest. What are their concerns about this hacking issue?
Yes, Ian, I talked with several parents. Many say that was the first time they heard about the hacking, which left some of them wanting to know how something like this could happen.
I'm a little upset that it's that easy to hack a school system like that.
On Friday morning, the Horry County School District says Carolina Forest High School experienced an unfortunate situation in Google Meet. The school system says the teacher shut the person out of the virtual classroom, then reported the incident to school administrators. Tommy Victor has two kids who attend Carolina Forest High School. Victor says he's heard about these type of breaches happening in other places, and he's troubled to learn about it happening to a classroom at his child's school.
The school system need to get a better handle on that. It should have been more secure before they even activated it.
Horry County School District says these type of hacks are happening at schools across the state. They say people obtain Google account information, posing as students enrolled in classes. A similar incident happened miles away at Culleton County Middle School in South Carolina. A 7th grade virtual class at Culleton County Middle School was hacked. A parent details what happened.
A hacker came into his virtual classroom and played extremely vulgar and explicit music or a song he was singing that explained acts that 7th graders don't need to hear.
The Culleton County School District confirmed the hacker was another student who got a code to the class. As far as Horry County, police are continuing their investigation into who's responsible for Friday's virtual hacking with the Carolina Forest High School classroom.
It's kind of crazy.
Sally Hester has a child enrolled in the hybrid learning program at Carolina Forest High School. Does it concern you at all?
Somewhat, yeah.
Hester says she's not worried about her child's safety because she feels Horry County schools will do all they can to protect the students.
I know that they're going to look into it and find out what's happening, and they're going to stop it.
When you find these individuals, you should charge them to the fullest and whatnot.
School had 2 hacking incidents, and they believe it's the same person responsible. District officials say they take these crimes seriously and are working to prevent future incidents from happening again. We'll continue following this story for additional updates. In the studio, Jennifer Roberts, WMBF News.
All right, Jennifer, thank you. Well, restaurants across South Carolina will now be able to operate at 100% capacity. Governor Henry McMaster officially lifting the occupancy restriction with restaurants earlier today, going into effect immediately. Other safety guidelines, including the requirement to use face coverings, are still in place for the time being. Officials also encourage restaurants to continue spacing tables 6 feet apart if possible and limiting seating at each table to no more than 8 customers unless they are all from the same household. The governor's last call order, which doesn't allow the sale or consumption of alcohol in restaurants after 11 o'clock each night, remains in place until further notice. More lawmakers test positive for COVID-19. An update from Cleveland city officials following the presidential debate earlier this week. That's just ahead on WMBF News at 11.
Now the certified most accurate forecast from First Alert meteorologist Jessica Dobson.
Well, new for you as of about 8 o'clock tonight, we now officially have Tropical Storm Gamma. We saw Tropical Depression 25 strengthen into a tropical storm, a little bit ahead of schedule in all honesty. But the good news is with this tropical storm, it is not, as of right now, anticipated to make any sort of impacts across parts of the United States. It looks like it's going to be working its way through the far southern portions of the Gulf of Mexico, and it will continue to likely strengthen with winds up to about 50 miles per hour as it continues to work its way right along the Yucatan Peninsula, working its way towards portions of Mexico where it will likely dump some heavy rainfall here as we head throughout the weekend. Now here at home, regarding your Saturday, we're going to start off tomorrow morning on a cool note. Likely going to need the light jacket if you have any sort of early morning plans. Temperatures starting off in the middle 50s, but if you do have any outdoor plans, whether it's hitting up the football game as the Chants take on Arkansas State, or if you're heading to the beaches, it's really expected to be just such a beautiful day. Temperatures steadily climbing into the upper 60s and low 70s. But as far as the rest of your weekend goes, across the Grand Strand, can't completely rule out a couple of stray showers for your Saturday. Only a 20% chance of rain expected for tomorrow. But across Florence and the PD, we're going to be staying mostly dry throughout the weekend. Plenty of sunshine, though, through Saturday. Really, Sunday is going to be the only chance of rain we're expecting. Tomorrow, likely going to be the coolest day of the week. Looking at your beach 7-day forecast, that 20% chance of rain, really the only hiccup in the forecast. We'll continue to see plenty of sunshine through early next week, and overall temperatures not fluctuating much either. Highs still reaching the middle 70s and potentially near 80 by next Wednesday.
New at 11, North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis has tested positive for the coronavirus. Tillis says he has been following his doctor's recommendations and is showing no symptoms. He says he is tested regularly and his test on Saturday was negative. Tillis is the second Senate Judiciary member announced to have positive COVID-19 test. Senator Mike Lee also made the announcement that he has tested positive earlier today. Chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Lindsey Graham, tweeted earlier that he has been tested for COVID-19 after Lee tested positive. Graham says that test has come back negative. President Donald Trump remains at Walter Reed Military Hospital as a precautionary measure after testing positive for the coronavirus. You can see several people out there with Trump signs right now. The White House physician says the president was fatigued but in good spirits. The president has been given an antibody drug as well as a precautionary measure. And after 2 negative coronavirus tests, Joe Biden spent time on the campaign trail. While speaking in Michigan, Biden offered his prayers for the president and First Lady Melania Trump, who also tested positive for the virus. Biden stressed the virus is not a matter of politics, but a reminder that we all need to take this virus seriously. And Cleveland officials say 11 cases of the coronavirus have been traced back to the presidential debate earlier this week. The city says 11 positive cases were traced to people involved in organizing the debate on Tuesday. And tomorrow is the first debate for the 2 candidates vying for South Carolina's seat in the U.S. Senate. Lindsey Graham and Jamie Harrison will take the stage tomorrow night at Allen University in Columbia. There are several coronavirus safety measures in place. There will be no live audience, and all CDC guidelines will be followed, including spacing of the candidates and debate panel for 13 feet apart. The debate starts at 8 o'clock right here on WMBF News, and if you can't watch it live, we'll have the full debate available for you as soon as it ends right here on WMBFnews.com. And check this out. NASA wants your help to find new planets, and you don't even have to be a NASA scientist. Here's how it works. NASA has a website called Planet Patrol. Volunteers can collaborate with astronomers and sort through images through NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite, which collects overall a bunch of different pictures. The satellite captures hundreds of thousands of pictures, and volunteers answer questionnaires as they shift through them in the images to research and help researchers narrow down the list of potential planets in the future. Well, that's all our time for your news tonight at 11, but Gabe and Danielle have all your high school football highlights coming next in the Extra Point. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Hello and welcome to Extra Point. I'm Gabe McDonald, and though it's only week 2, this year every game matters with the shortened season, and we have plenty of good action for you tonight. Danielle, I think we can all agree Mother Nature was on our side this week.
You know, that's right, Gabe. We finally had some football weather this go-round, and it made for a great Friday night of some high school action across the Grand Strand and PD. I know I was loving it out there. Last week, those storms, let's keep it like this, and I'll be fine on Friday nights.
Exactly. It was some really good weather, and for the rest of the half hour, we'll take you all across the area. But first, we're going to get things started with our game of the week between bitter rivals Conway and Carolina Forest. Both teams entering tonight 1-0. So much riding on this one as both teams look to set the tone for the rest of the year. Here comes both of those teams coming out of the gate. And after forcing a 3-and-out, Kyle Watkins on the quarterback keeper, and he does all the work himself. He takes this one 53 yards to the crib. Nobody's going to catch that young man. He would give the Panthers an early one-score lead. Next offensive possession for Carolina Forest, and it's Watkins going to work with his arm. He fires a rocket downfield to DJ Admill. He comes down with it, and he just walks in the end zone. Easy work right there. Carolina Forest led by 14 after the first quarter. Watkins added a score on the ground to put CF up 21, and then he'd go to work again. So nice they had to do it twice. The seniors Watkins and Admill connect once again for 6. Panthers were in full control of 28 at the half. In the second half, we get our first score by somebody not named Kyle Watkins. That's Luke Janak slicing through the Tiger defense and making his way in for 6. Carolina Forest flexing their muscles with a 35-point advantage. And yeah, it just wasn't Conway's night tonight. Janak would add another touchdown to cap off the scoring and give his team another dominant win. Carolina Forest had absolutely no trouble in this one. They shut out Conway by a final of 42-0. Kyle Watkins and Coach Mark Morris, how you feeling?
Definitely for confidence, it's very good. We put in the work, and it's good to see it on the field happen.
Kids prepared hard all week, and we got a good group of young men, and we felt real good about our defense going out. And fortunate for us tonight, they did a great job, and Kyle's done a great job for us all year, and we told you before the game we expect big things out of him, and he played well tonight.
Well, the full moon shining bright over Saucony at St. James, picking things up in the third. Jake Marlowe picked off by Garrett Thompson, who takes it 15 yards before being knocked out of bounds. St. James up 14-7, and Saucony's defense would step up. Don't blink as Alex Jones is picked off by Austin Kuykendall. The D lineman getting some love tonight. Well, fourth quarter, Jake Marlowe is going to look downfield, and he's going to find Wesley Eason to set up a 1st and goal. And the next play, Michael James is going to get the easy walk-in touchdown. You're about to see that happen right here. There we go. And Braves with a comeback win late in the fourth, 20-14, your final.
And that's the action in 5A. Now let's drop down to Class 4A. And first we head out to the Wild West Florence, and a wild one it was. We picked this game up early in the fourth quarter. Red Foxes down 6 until Owen Taylor finds Darian Pendergrass for the touchdown. Hartsville would take a 1-point lead to go up 28-27. However, on the ensuing possession, George Floyd for West Florence with a beautiful RPO. He finds a wide open Dylan Snyder in the end zone, and the Knights retake the lead. They're up 33-28. The fans definitely got their money's worth tonight at Florence Memorial Stadium. And with under 2 minutes left in the game, Hartsville forced to go for it on 4th down, but Taylor's pass is off the hands of Pendergrass, and that would be your ball game. Coach Jody Generette is all fired up as the Knights start off the season 2-0 with a score of 33-28. Next week will be a 4A showdown at the beach against the Seahawks, and that will definitely be a good one.
Well, speaking of Seahawks, looking out at Georgetown Bulldogs, they hosted the Myrtle Beach Seahawks tonight, and Myrtle Beach dominating early in this one, up 22-0. Ryan Berger throws it to J.J. Jones, and that's another touchdown Seahawks. They now lead 27-0. Well, now you have to look at this next play for Myrtle Beach. Berger, the nice pass to J.J. Jones, and that man, he's gone. Bulldogs defense cannot stop him tonight. This future Tar Heel looking real nice out there. I love watching this guy play. Well, Seahawks are going to have the ball again in the red zone, and Cam Ward runs the ball in for another touchdown. And there was no coming back for the Bulldogs tonight. Myrtle Beach with a big win, 41-7.
And now to Darlington we go. Head coach Derek Howard of Wilson looking to get his Tigers their first win on the season. This game would be a defensive first half as Darlington QB Deuce Hudson airs it out deep for Traquan Squat. But Quadri Hunter is there, and the ref rules it an interception for the Tigers. They get the ball back, and now let's jump to the final minutes of the first half for that Tiger offense. And right here, here's quarterback Zayshawn Rice. He's going to connect with Montel Goodson in the back of the end zone, dropping a dime on his teddy bear. Shout out Dame Dollar. That's the first score of the game for Wilson. They go up 6-0 after the PAT is blocked. and that score would jumpstart Wilson as they would get the strip sack and score just before the half to go up 13-0, and the Tigers would roar past Darlington. They shut out the Falcons 48-0.
All right, taking you out to North Myrtle Beach now. It was a sea of blue as the Chiefs took on the South Florence Bruins. They're going to pick it up in the first quarter, already 7-0, and running back Nyleek Livingston would add to the lead with a run to the left side from 8 yards up. Chiefs up 14-0, and Chiefs would continue to assert their dominance later in the second. Quarterback Cameron Freeman would show his mobility in the pocket and find Chandler McCall in the corner of the end zone. 21 straight points by the Chiefs. But in the words of Billy Mays, wait, there is more. Right before halftime, Cameron Freeman would run it in himself from the 1-yard line. Touchdown, and North Myrtle Beach starts the season 2-0 with a blowout victory over the Bruins. The final score, 35-7.
And guys, we're just getting started. Coming up, we'll run through Class 3A, 2A, and 1A, as well as the Play of the Week. We're going to take a quick time out and be back for another half of Extra Point in 3 minutes. All right, halftime is over. Now it's time to get back to the action, and we're going to kick off the second half of Extra Point with a Class 3A region showdown between Aynor and Dillon. Class 3A region 7, rather. Let's head up to the place they call Dillon U. If you remember last year, Aynor won this one in quite an upset. Wildcats going to work early. Nehemiah Nemo Squire just keeps swimming, young fella. He takes a handoff, slices and dices through the Aynor defense, and makes his way to the end zone to put Dillon on the board first. Dillon still going to work. This time, it's Nigel George joining the party. He would take the handoff right here, straight up the gut for another Dillon score. Wildcats adding to that lead. George hitting a little dance right there in the end zone. Always love to see some celebrations from the kids. Aynor would get not going away, though. They would get going late. Noah Jones takes matters into his own hands on the QB keeper. He manages to stay up for a nice first down there to get the Blue Jackets in business down in the red zone. And from there, they would cash in. Right here on a few plays later, Anthony Edie takes it around the defense on the sweep and manages to get in for 6. But unfortunately, it would be all Dillon in this one. They win in a back-and-forth affair, 40-34.
All right, well, let's look now over to Waccamaw, who hosted Loris tonight. And we're going to look at the fourth quarter. Loris leads 6-0. Warriors looking to get on the scoreboard, but you see that Lions defense. Nyshawn Lucas with the sack. But wait a minute, Warriors are going to get the ball right back. There's a fumble on the play, and Warriors recover. Well, it's time now for Waccamaw to get something going, and they will. Jay Simmons will run the ball in for the touchdown, and Warriors will take the lead. They are feeling good after this, but wait a minute. Will Loris answer? Yep, they sure will. Bryce Faircloth finds Jasur Sinkler, and that's a touchdown Lions, and that will do it right there. Loris will beat Waccamaw 12-7.
Now let's take a look at some other Class 3A games that were played tonight. The Lake City Panthers picked up the 36-25 win over the Lakewood Gators. And unfortunately for Marlboro County, tonight belonged to Crestwood as they shut out the Bulldogs 28-0.
Well, now let's drop down to Class 2A and continue the action for you. Big region battle between Andrews and Mullins. Yellow Jackets going to work early. Quarterback Eli Durham on the option. He pitches it out to Franklin Grant. Gets a nice first down and actually knocks some dude's helmet off in the process. Hope you're okay, dude. A couple plays later, Andrew punches it in. Quarterback Eli Durham fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and rumbles in for the Yellow Jackets score. And Andrews even getting it done on defense in this one. They came up big. Dorian Roberts and Mullins trying to make something happen, but he gets sacked by Dante Fulmore. And this one is all Yellow Jackets. They pitch a shutout over the Ox, 28-0, the final. And here are the other Class 2A games that we had under the bright lights tonight. Well, we're still awaiting the score from Lee Central Stallions game over the Vikings you see there. And we do have the final of the King Street Marion game. The Jaguars come up away with the W in the Swamp.
And let's drop down to Class 1A. We head to Green Sea, where the defending two-time state champions were looking to bounce back from their season-opening loss to Lakeview. We start this one in the second half with the Trojans already up on Hanna Pamplico, 14-6. Jaquan Dixon takes the ball to the outside and picks up a big gain for the first down for Green Sea Floyds. And that would prove to be the theme of this series. Just a few plays later, Dixon takes it hard up the middle to get Green Sea inside the 5. And you got to give it to that man once again. On the very next play, Dixon would plow into the end zone to put the Trojans up 21-6. Though those Raiders, though, not going away without a fight. Xander Poston moving the ball through the air and finds Davian Coxum, who makes a nice move for the first down. And after a pair of unnecessary roughness penalties against the Trojans, Coxum would then take the sweep and cut it back to find pay dirt. He cuts that Green Sea lead to 9. But it wouldn't be enough, however. The Trojans get their first win of the season in this one by a final of 28-12.
All right, the Johnsonville Golden Flashes made the trip west to take on the Timothyville Whirlwind. Starting in the second half, Johnsonville with the ball up 34-6. QB Malik Shippey fumbles the ball, tosses it over his head to his tailback, Contrell Burrows, who scurries for a first down. Later in the drive, Johnsonville fullback Eric Tompkins would take the ball from the 10-yard line and rumble into the end zone, making it the score 40-6 Johnsonville. Well, the Golden Flashes would go for 2. Quarterback J.J. Coles throws a jump ball to his receiver, Quez Lewis, who comes down with it. Conversion good, 42-6, Johnsonville. Well, Johnsonville would threaten again in the fourth quarter, but Timothyville linebacker Richard Enos would make a big tackle, stalling the drive. And final score of this one is going to be Johnsonville 42, Timothyville 6.
And let's head out to Lamar as the Silver Foxes honored their seniors tonight as they took on the McBee Panthers. We're tied at 0-0 towards the end of the first quarter. McBee quarterback Trevor Truell's pass was deflected by his tight end Dawson Wellman, who rumbled across midfield. And a few plays later, after the quarter break, Lamar would block a field goal, which was recovered by defensive lineman Anthony Walton. We're still tied at 0-0 in this one. Quite a defensive slugfest out there in the PD. But then with only a minute 30 left in the half, Lamar quarterback Taylor McManus throws short to his receiver Derek Huggins, who jukes his defenders on his way to a 40-yard touchdown. Nobody's going to catch that young man. Quite a play by him. Lamar led by 6 at the half, and from there they would turn on the Jets in the second half and get it done 32-3 over McBee.
All right, let's head out to Lakeview now, where the Wild Gators played host to the Wolverine of East Clarendon. Lakeview would set the tone on the ground early. Michael McInnes with a tough run here in the first quarter for that first down. Well, the very next play, it's going to be Jacorius Ford, who would get in on the fun, fighting through the tackles up the middle for another hard-earned first down. Wild Gators would keep sharing the ball. This time it's Marquise Johnson taking it tough up the gut for a solid gain. And then just a few plays later, Johnson's number dialed once again. He shed several tacklers on his way to the end zone to open up the scoring. His teammates clearly loving it, and Lakeview would run away with this one, literally run away, 42-12.
And here's the scoreboard with the other Class 1A games. We're unfortunately still awaiting scores for both the Carvers Bay and Scotts Branch game, along with C.E. Murray and Hemingway. Well, Danielle, we've made it through all the highlights, but we aren't done just yet.
Oh, that's right, because it's time now for our Play of the Week.
And this week, we head back out to our Game of the Week between Carolina Forest and Conway. And this young man, Kyle Watkins, had a day. The young brother is special. This 53-yard scoring scamper got things going for the Panthers in the first. One of 4 total touchdowns for him on the night. Carolina Forest, of course, rolled in this one 42-0. And that's all the time for this week's Extra Point. Of course, you can catch all the highlights and scores on our website, WMBFnews.com. For Danielle DeTomo, I'm Gabe McDonald. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.